Hello and welcome to All About Bikes, and this week we tell you which is a better buy, the Hero Xtreme 200S or the Suzuki Gixxer SF 155. But more importantly, we finally know when the Royal Enfield Meteor will be launched. So we said we'd get you the dates last week, but we didn't. But now, even though we don't have an exact date, Royal Enfield will launch the Meteor next month. We feel before Diwali, around Dussehra, so you're looking at about maybe the first or second week for it to come. Bookings and deliveries, we're still not sure, but would probably happen in November itself. So that's exciting news, and it's competition. The H'ness 350, the Honda H'ness CB350, the dispatches have begun, so I think they have a slight advantage compared to the Royal Enfield. But let's see when the bike comes out, the Meteor, what pricing it is, what it finally looks like, and then I guess it'll be nice to see which one really catches our fancy or the fancy of the general motorcycle buying public in India. Right, but now in terms of other news, we've not really had a lot of buzz around anything. We've got essentially festive related launches. So TVS launched the Avenger series for its Ntorq scooter, and Hero launched the Splendor with fancier graphics, but that's about it. So let's straight away get into questions then. So let's start our question answer series with the All About Bikes video that we did last week. We got a lot of comments, a lot of questions, so thank you so much for that. And we'll start with that. First up, we've got Durgesh, and he has asked us regarding the Royal Enfield 650 Cruiser we spoke about last week. He's asked us that one of the reasons, or he's actually mentioned that one of the reasons that he didn't like the Interceptor 650 is because it did not have tubeless tires, and its upswept exhaust meant that his touring bags would get burnt because of the exhaust, and again, the pillion seating wasn't so comfortable. Now he's asked us about the RE Cruiser, and he says that will it have a more powerful engine than the current 650? Will it be heavier than the current 650? And the reason he asks is because 45 horsepower doesn't sound, I mean, it sounds good on paper, he says, but he feels that with the larger tires, maybe the drag would be more. So now when it comes to the performance or the power and torque, it would be identical to the 650 Interceptor. Maybe the gearing will be different, at least the final drive, and that might give you slightly different riding characteristic. Now I don't know what would Royal Enfield want to do. Would they want to give it a relatively higher top end, which I don't think the bike would need because the Interceptor is already pretty good. I mean, does 160 comfortably, so no issues there. Or would they want to work towards giving it a little more torque lower down to give you that punchy feel? So I don't know, maybe they will alter the gearing. Of course, the tire sizes are different, so that would also make a difference, but we don't have any clarity on that. But increase in engine power, chances are that won't happen. He also asks us, is it going to be heavier than the Interceptor 650? It could be, or maybe they'll be very careful about it and they would want to keep the weight around the same, 200, 220, maybe 212, 210, around that much. But again, it looks like it has more bodywork, so to speak, or more bulkier bodywork. It doesn't mean that it's going to be heavier. It could be lighter too, but let's see when it comes, then we'll know. Next, we've got Murli, and that's the question that we wanted to answer right at the start, where we said which is a better buy, the Hero Xtreme 200S or the Gixxer SF 155. So that's the question he's asked. So the thing is that the BS6 version of the Xtreme hasn't been launched. Hero's website still says coming soon, but we've ridden the older one, and we've ridden it on a racetrack, we've ridden it on the road, and it's a very nice motorcycle. It's a very friendly motorcycle, very intuitive motorcycle. The SF too, but the 200 is probably, you've got a little more torque to play with. It looks slightly bigger in the flesh, so now we don't know what's going to happen when the BS6 version comes. It will definitely be smoother, that we know, because we've seen that happen with the X-Pulse as well. But how it's going to affect performance, I guess once we ride it, only then can we tell you. So if you want to buy something right now, I think the SF155 is again a great buy, so you can buy it with your eyes closed, no issues there. We love that motorcycle, we've ridden it enough, so no worries on that front. Prajwal, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, sorry if I didn't. He wants to know our opinion on the KTM 250 ADV compared to the G310 GS BMW. Right. So the one big thing that was an issue with the older GS 310 was the price. The other thing that we had faced initially was that the fueling on the motorcycle, especially when riding off-road slowly, it would stall, which also caused us to crash a little. But all that has been rectified now, or I believe will be, because now it's moved to ride-by-wire from being a cabled one, which was earlier. And what we've seen with the Apache, it would probably, the GS would also be more refined now, less vibes, etc., compared to the older one. And the throttle response again should be more immediate, crisper. You should have a nicer spread of torque. So off-road, I think the GS would be a nice motorcycle now. As for the KTM 250, it would be cheaper than the GS when it comes, because I think the GS undercuts the 390, but the 250 would probably undercut the 310. And so it will be a question of price. We like the mid-range torque again on the 250. It is a friendlier motorcycle, and I would say between the 390 and the 250, if you're relatively new to riding off-road, maybe the 250 would be friendlier, easier. So between these two, now we've not ridden either of the two, and on paper, from our experience, etc., given the engines that we've sold, I think the GS might be a better buy, but let's just see for the 250 to come out, and then we can finally decide and ride them and tell you which is the better one actually. Our next question comes from 1SIP, and he's asked us, is it worth waiting for the Husqvarna 200 Svartpilen? And is it going to come before June 2021? Now, it makes sense for Bajaj to bring in all versions of the Svartpilen and the Vitpilen, because that's exactly, I mean, it is essentially the KTMs in different body and maybe little differences here and there in terms of wheels, etc., tires. But the thing is that the Huskies have not done well. And the moment they are cheaper than the KTM, we thought that that would be a big draw, but it clearly wasn't or isn't. And so we're not very sure whether Bajaj would want to bring more versions of the Huskies. It would make sense for them to bring it, but we have no clarity on whether they will, be it June 2021. And since you're waiting till June 2021, I guess we'll have more clarity as we get closer to that date. But as of now, logically, it doesn't seem that they would bring it in. But again, I mean, we can wait till closer to June 2021 and see what happens. And now let's take some questions from our social handles, and we will start with Facebook. We've got about 3 or 4 questions of Facebook, and let's start with Rupesh. Rupesh wants to know which is a better buy, the Dominar 250 or the Dominar 400. So we'd say that if you want, or if you like the way the Dominar looks, clearly that's why you are considering the Dominar and you're okay with either going for the 250 or the 400. If you're going to live with a motorcycle mostly in the city, if you're going to use the motorcycle for just weekend rides, if you're not really going to spend long hours riding the motorcycle going from city to city, etc., we'd say go with the 250. It's a more refined motorcycle, it's an easier to ride motorcycle, it's a nicer motorcycle overall, and it's of course more fuel efficient and cheaper to buy. You would probably get more money for it when you sell it. I mean, you'd probably lose less money in percentage terms compared to the Dominar 400. So we'd say the 250. It's an easier motorcycle to recommend compared to the 400. Umesh, again on Facebook, wants to know what motorcycle he should go for. He's 6'3", his budget is about 2.5 lakhs, and he is keen on the Himalayan BS6. He wants to know whether it's really worth buying. Is it value for money, or should he look at another motorcycle? So if you would have asked us this question when the Himalayan was just launched, we would have said don't go for the Himalayan. But now I think they have improved the motorcycle many folds, and now in the BS6 version they have improved the braking, the refinement, the reliability, and it's a very comfortable, very nice to live with motorcycle. It's torquey as well. There isn't much to break if you drop it. If you like riding off-road, it works there too. So if you like the Himalayan, you should go for it. I think maybe you might need to rework the seat a bit, add a bit of extra foam, I don't know, given your height, but we have a tall person in our group and he doesn't seem to mind the seating ergonomics of the Himalayan. So ride it if you find it comfortable. I think it's fine. It's a nice motorcycle, great motorcycle to have, a motorcycle that you'd want to keep for a long time to come. So Abhishek wants to know, and again Himalayan makes a comeback here, but the price range is similar, 2.5 lakhs, but he's 5'7", and he wants to know which one should he go for. Should he go for the Himalayan, the Dominar, and I'm guessing it's the Dominar 250, the BMW 310R, or the Mojo. So Mojo in our book is completely out because I don't remember the last time we saw that motorcycle, forget about riding one. So that's, we're not definitely recommending that because we have no idea about what that motorcycle's turned into today. But compared to the other three, 5'7" should not be a problem with the Himalayan seat height. But if you want something that you can get your feet firmly on the ground, then again the 310R, the BMW 310R has a low seat height, the Dominar has a low seat height. The Himalayan and the Dominar are slightly heavier motorcycles. The BMW is a lighter motorcycle. So if you want something that's lighter, then the 310R would be a better choice. The 310R is also the most fun to ride of the three on the road. If you are commuting, if you want to filter through traffic, if you get to a section of twisties, it's a much nicer motorcycle, more involving, eggs you along, you're not fighting it ever. So that's the thing. So if you are going to go off-road, look at the Himalayan, sit on it, see if you can get your feet firmly on the ground. Again, like we said, like we answered in the previous question, it's a worthy buy, no issues there. Dominar again 250, a good buy, and the 310R, if you want something light, something agile, something fun, that's the one you should go for. Now let's take some questions on Twitter, and we've actually just got one. Farhan has asked us, and the Himalayan again, is that the Himalayan BS6, is it a good buy? He's planning to buy one by February 2021. I think we've already answered that question. Yes, if you like the Himalayan, go for it. In the BS6 version, it is a really nice motorcycle now. And now let's take some questions from Instagram. We've got a couple. First one is from Shivanshu, and Shivanshu's asked us, any chances of SXR 155 this year? Now, we're not sure whether you meant the SXR 160, which is the Aprilia scooter, or did you mean the XSR 155, which is the retro-looking Yamaha based on the MT-15. So we'll take both, and firstly the Aprilia SXR 160, it should be launched next month in November. So that's confirmed. The scooter was shown at the expo. Nice looking scooter, based on the SR 160. So sporty, not the most refined, but should be a good fun to ride scooter. Now let's say that you meant the Yamaha XSR 155. Now that motorcycle, there are no indications of that motorcycle coming to India. Yes, we understand that it's based on the MT-15 and it's just essential bodywork and bits and bobs and lights and clocks and etc. that can be added, and probably there'll be a good appeal. And I think there is, you're not the first one to ask about it. A lot of people have been asking about it. A lot of people have been asking that and saying that they'd buy one. So maybe Yamaha might consider it. But as of now, I don't think it's part of their plans. Now we've got Siddesh, and he is looking at purchasing his first motorcycle. What he's looking for is good comfort. He's looking for good suspension, which I would mean again comfort, and he's looking for a motorcycle that looks good. He essentially wants to use the motorcycle for weekend rides and in the city, and he wants to decide between the Svartpilen 250 and the Duke 250. So Svartpilen slightly cheaper than the Duke, but Duke to us is the motorcycle that you should go for. There isn't a lot of difference in the way probably they ride in terms of comfort, etc. But the Duke is just a fraction more comfortable, and so that's what we'd recommend. If we were to choose, we like the way the Svartpilen looks, but we definitely buy the Duke 250. And that's a wrap on All About Bikes. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for writing in. Do continue to write in, do continue to ask your questions, and we'll have answers to them, and maybe something interesting, more buzz in the market next week. So come back and watch that. Thank you.